Hey guys, Project Pat 345 coming at you with another deck profile. It's Light Hero Beat or Gemini Heroes, whichever you want to call them. I decided to throw the deck together because, I was having fun with the Insectors, but there was a lot of side deck hate. And I've noticed, as I'm sure you have, in the meta today, a lot of people are deciding to run Skill Drain, which, it shuts down, completely shuts down the top 3-tier decks of the format. And this deck actually isn't slowed down by it. It actually plays Skill Drain. So I felt like it was a good meta pick. It's one of my favorite decks. It's extremely consistent, so I decided to put it together for the format. So I'll show you guys. U1 Stratos. It's the only card that is really affected by Skill Drain, but 95% of the time, you're going to open up with Stratos a lot. So one Stratos. Searches out your 3 Alias. These heroes constantly get recycled through Shining. So they never really go away, along with Hero Blast and things like that. Triple Thunder King. It's a very good turn 1 card. It's really good against, honestly, pretty much, Dino Rabbit and Wind Up first turn because they can't exceed. Against Insectors, it's not that great, but it is an option. I decided to play 2 Cyber Dragons. As you'll notice, this build's very similar to Alistair Albin's and Fraser Smith's build that they were playing on ARG Live the other night. I did bounce a couple ideas off them, but when I used this deck to get my invite a couple months back, I main Cyber Dragon. I really like it in the deck. It's a big 1900. It gets over opponent's Thunder Kings. It baits them out. Bottomless, especially game 2. It's really good because a lot of people don't expect a main deck Cyber. So, if you're playing against wind-ups and they happen to, loop you or something like that, and you happen to top deck a Cyber Dragon, then it obviously puts you in a very good position. So I play 2 Cyber Dragon for that aspect. You play 3 Barbaros, solely because of Skill Drain. He's just so big. Skill Drain Barbaros is such a ridiculous combo. Especially, even if you reborn him, he goes up to 3k. He's an Earth, so Gaia is an option. And, he's a 19 beater by himself, which is very good. And then you play 1 Honest, because the majority of the deck is light. That's the monsters. It's not that many monsters. I think it's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 14 monsters or something like that. I just counted real quick. On the spells, you play Triple Miracle Fusion. Cards, obviously standard. It's the best feeling in the world when you summon a Thunder King or, maybe an Alias or something, or a Stratos, and it puts them in a really bad position, so they have to warning, and you just follow up with a Miracle Fusion. It's just a very good card for the deck, obviously. Play Triple Gemini Spark. This card is absolutely ridiculous. If played correctly, it does give you a +1 to +2, depending on how you play it. It keeps your Alias from getting bottomless, Deep Prison, Mirror Forced, things of that nature. It nets you the plus and it minuses them. So, it's really good. And even though you only play 3 Alias, they're constantly recycled because of Shining. So Spark is almost always live. Then for the searchers, you play double E-Call and a Rhoda. Fraser and Alistair decided to play 3 E-Call. You can try it if you like. It's just that there's only 4 targets for these cards, so I wasn't really a huge fan of playing 3. I am going to test out their ideas because, they're obviously pros and stuff, so I am going to test with their ideas, but this is what I'm playing right now. Then you play Triple Duality. You want to open up with Skill Drain pretty much first turn, and after, rotating, Emergency Call, Stratos, you thin out your deck a lot first turn. So you Duality and try and get the Skill Drain, but even then, this, it's almost pretty much any deck plays Triple Duality just to search for your pieces that you need. Then you play the Staples Book, Reborn, and Whole. If you notice, I do not play MST. MST or Heavy Storm. I decided to do that because you are going to be playing Skill Drain, so you don't want to Heavy Storm away your cards. And MST, cards outside of, Bottomless and Deep Prison really don't hurt the deck that much. Just because of the sole fact that most of the time you're going to have a Miracle Fusion to follow up with. So, that's why. Double Skill Drain. I was originally playing 3, but after looking at Alistair and Fraser's build, and they only played 2, I'm testing 2 out right now. I felt that Skill Drain was, obviously Skill Drain's an amazing card, and I played 3 because I wanted to open up with a turn 1. But I do understand where they're coming from in the sense that late game this can be a very dead card, especially when you're low on life. So I only played 2 for that reason. Double Compulse. Fraser and Alistair decided to play Deep Prison. I ran with Compulse, partially because I don't have Deep Prisons, but I really thought it over, and I actually like Compulse over Deep Prison for right now. Only because of the fact that this is chainable. If you play it against Insectors or something, you can, Compulse it back. If you play against Windups, Compulse the Hunter or something like that. Against Dino Rabbit, if they go Rabbit into 2 Sabersaurs, you can Compulse a Sabersaurs. And because 95% of the time, you're going to be able to run over the other Sabersaurs. So that's why I play Double Compulse, just because I felt as though it was because it was chainable that I liked it over Deep Prison. 2 Torrential, obviously. Silent Brigade. Play 1 Hero Blast. This card's extremely good. It recycles the Alias. It destroys any monster on the field that has 19 or less attacking, Tour Guide, anything in Dino Rabbit, anything in Windups. It's just the card's very good, and it still nets you pluses because you get an Alias back. 1 Mirror Force. A lot of people don't see this card coming. So, they'll just load up a field and just swing, attempt to going for game, and they Mirror Force. And then Starlight Road. The back row is semi-heavy. It just allows you to play kind of no fear, almost, because you are being backed up by a Starlight Road. So, you don't really have to be afraid of Mirror Force, Torrential, Heavy Storm, things like that. So, that's the main deck. I'll show you guys the side and extra, too. Side deck is Double Snowman Eater. Even though you do play Skill Drain, you're not always going to have it, so this goes in obviously against Logi and Dolkin and stuff. I'm playing 1 Crow and 1 Fossil Dino. This honestly is supposed to be a 2nd Crow, but I just couldn't find one, so I'm just testing this out right now, but it'll probably be a 2nd Crow. 2 Super Poly. This card is absolutely insane. It's awesome against Windups when they drop Shark. You Super Poly with the Shark to make 0, and then they're just upset because then they really can't do anything without killing their entire field. But even against Dinos, you can make Nova Master, when the Escrudiario or something like that. You can play it against Insectors, so Super Poly is really good, especially because you can't negate it. Double Smash, same thing against Dino Rabbit. Kills them. Double MST because you don't main it. Double goes in. This goes in, for the most part against every single top tier deck except Insectors. It really hurts Dino Rabbit. It hurts Windups for the most part. You just have to be careful with it because, I hadn't played with the deck in a while and I accidentally got myself in a lock because I flipped Gozen while I had Stratos on the field. And, of course, being one of the only non-lights in the deck, it really messed me up. But that was completely my fault. But if you play Gozen right, the card's really good. Double Chain Disappearance. Same thing again, against Tour Guide, Rabbit, Dragonfly, Hornet, just things like that. And the 3rd Skill Drain. Just because they're going to be siding in a lot of Spell and Trap hate to get rid of the Skill Drain, so you just want to make sure you have that back up. Then for the extra deck, play 2 Shining. I honestly would play 3 if I had it, but I only had 2. And yes, these are the secrets that came out of the tin. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but 2 Shining. I never had to go into anything more, but I would like to, if you have 3, I would suggest playing 3 just in case you need that option. Play 1 Ab-Zero, 1 Great Tornado. This is against the random Tengu that you see. It keeps your Stratos alive if you have a Miracle Fusion late game and your Shinings are gone or something. I don't know, but it's just an option to go into. 1 Nova Master for when you Super Poly, Logi, and Dolka. 1 Gaia, you can make it with Barbaros. Against TGs, you can make it with Super Poly, so it's really good. 1 Chimera because you play the Cyber Dragons. Then you play 1 Utopia and 1 Utopia Ray. I'm borrowing Utopia off my friend, so I just needed to find one. But cards are obviously very good. Late game, it's just insane. 1 Blade Armor Ninja. just in case you happen to exceed and you don't have Scale Drone on the field, you can attack for a quick 42 if they don't have a follow-up to it. Then on the Sinkers, you play 1 Mistworm, just in case you happen to, reborn an Effect Veiler or something like that. Scrap Dragon, because the card's very good. Stardust, because you play Starlight Road. Black Rose, and Rio. You can try to fit in a Catastor if you want. I just don't have one to try and fit into. So that's my hero deck, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe. Thanks.